This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Well, a little late going on tonight, but we decided to do a ramble anyway. What the hell? Why not? Yeah, and here we are. Yes, we are here, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so very much for joining us this evening. We appreciate it. I'm going on a little late tonight because of some legal hassles that I had to deal with, and I had to write letters and do things like that. And then I finished them all, and then I said, well, no need not to do a show. Well, plus my throat is trashed tonight. I have no idea what that's about. But anyway, so that's it. Okay? All right. Let me see here. There are people waiting to come on here. And man, I know what I need. I need this. Okay? I need a little of this. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. Let me just let's see here. What do? I want to go to Zoom, and I want to bring these people in who are waiting to talk right now. And I don't know who they are. Let me see who they are. Oh, here they are. Okay, there are two of them. Okay. Well, we'll just see if we get any more people tonight than this three. Thank you for being there, all things considered.
How to help you get your legal issues straightened out.
I tell you, it never stops. It never stops. The latest thing that we had happen here was when we made the deal to get this apartment, we had to pay off the guy who leased us the apartment initially. All right? And so we owed him $75,000. So we sent him a check for $70,800. Now, why would we do that? Maybe because he had our security deposit, all right? And he never offered to give it back, so we just figured what we do is pay him minus the security deposit. Security deposit plus, what do you call it? I'm trying to figure out the numbers again. 20,800 equals what? $75,000. That's money that we paid him, okay? And so now all of a sudden he decides to file a suit against us for the $4,200. Really?
What an asshole.
Really? Yeah, what an asshole. Absolutely. Complete and utter asshole. He got every penny that was owed him. And he never ever said, hey, I'm going to send you your security deposit, which he should have done.
Or at least said to deduct it.
Yes, because that's money.
I'm a property owner. I mean, that's.
Why should I pay him another $4,200? I didn't make a deal for $79,000.
Right.
Whatever.
Well,
okay, so I had to write a letter and do stuff like that to my lawyer, and of course I got to pay my lawyer money again. And this, I'm just so tired of this. That and the landlord. I mean, all these people. Why don't they become decent human beings? Okay, instead
invite them over for a party. Open the window and put a sign.
Huh?
If you put a sign out the window, jump.
Yeah, either that or egress.
So I got two text messages a little while ago. The Ramble's not on, and then I look at YouTube. It says 8 o'clock Eastern. I understand why now. And then on it says 7:30 on the GabNet, and I'm like, wait, that was confusing. I mean, I could have just gone on at 8 o'clock, like it, all these people that want to intervene and got it wrong.
Well, and I said I wasn't going to do a show tonight, and then I changed it and said we were going to do one at 11 o'clock. But I wanted to get all that other stuff out of the way. I didn't want to do a show all bothered by this, you know?
No, no.
Mhm.
Why should you?
So anyway, yeah. How's my mic sounding? Good?
Good.
Yeah.
Everything looks good.
Terrific.
I mean, we can even see Jeff and hear Jeff tonight.
Yes,
I'm
absolutely.
working good.
So who were the people that wrote you?
Brian Reynolds, he's a guy that comes on Jack's show once in a while, lives here in the Bay Area, and listens to this show, and they said he should start coming on it. He's an interesting retired guy.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody else wrote me. I don't know who. I don't.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Now you're all frozen up. Oh, there you go. There you go.
One of my friend's best friend was shot today in the line of duty in San Jose.
Is he okay?
Is she okay? First officer in San Jose history to be shot. She's in critical condition. Now, this is not my friend that was shot. This is my friend's friend, and they're both San Jose cops. So both females.
What were the circumstances? Do you know?
Domestic disturbance at a house. Guy that was a convicted felon had a gun and shot through the door when the female officer knocked on the door this morning.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
But,
definitely.
you know.
I guess it missed her vest.
Mm.
Speak today.
Well, let's keep out a good thought for her.
Thank you.
You know, I mean, it's that kind of thing when it happens to policemen that it truly bothers me, because these domestic disturbances, I think you know as a cop, are some of the most dangerous situations you can go into.
That and traffic stops are more cops are killed in traffic stops and domestic disturbances.
Yeah.
It was that way in 1980 when I started in law enforcement, and it's still that way.
Wow, that's terrible.
Mhm.
That's horrible. You know.
Yeah.
Well,
You know, I mean, cops put their life on the line every day for perfect strangers. So it's kind of what
Yeah.
you do.
I wonder if anybody else is going to call. I guess maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know. Give them a couple minutes. I
Yeah.
think they'll.
Some people don't check to even see if we're on till after the interview. So, you know.
I couldn't quite understand if you were on or not on.
Well, Charlie tried to call earlier, but now he's not trying. So Charlie,
I will send him a text right now.
yeah. But you know, I mean, I'm just so sick and tired of paying this lawyer. You know, I just wish it would end. And it doesn't. You know. I have enough problems in my life. I mean, my neuropathy is giving me a bad time, and you know, it's things like that. You know, and I just want life to be good and to spend my senior years in relative decency. You know,
Yeah.
I'm just tired of it. But anyway.
Well, I know you're having problems with your lawyer, but
I'm not having troubles with the lawyer. I'm having troubles with the people my lawyer has to deal with.
Oh, well, I had to deal with my lawyer today, and I had to give her $6.20 or something like that.
Why?
Smartass's wife is who he's talking about.
My wife.
Oh, your wife. Oh, yes, she is a lawyer.
Yeah,
I forgot. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hey, doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm okay. I've been better. You know.
You're on YouTube. Is this you showing?
Huh? No, we should be on YouTube. Yeah.
Oh no, it's just you.
Just you.
Oh, this is me.
That's what that means. Yeah.
Why
This
wouldn't-
guy Brian says I can only see Alex's face, not you.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
I
the only
see.
one that's on.
Okay, you know, I do this occasionally because I'm an idiot and a moron. There they are, folks. See? Oh boy. You see, when I don't do it exactly like I'm supposed to do it, like I went on later tonight, I didn't play any promos or anything like that. I that's when I screw up like that. Hello everybody. There they are. See them? They're all here. Okay.
You got more coming.
Yeah. Yeah. But why? I don't look gorgeous enough just to be all by myself on here, you know?
Charlie should be coming. So.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll tell you, yesterday we went to the movies. Okay. We've been to the movies very seldom in the last, since COVID, obviously, but
Yeah.
anyway, so we went to the movies yesterday, and we went to go see Oppenheimer in IMAX at the big AMC IMAX theater.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened during COVID, but you know, they had a perfect opportunity to remodel their theaters at
Really?
that point, but they didn't.
Nope, they didn't do it here either.
This was one of the worst. I mean, it's a great picture. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie. Bit long, 3 hours and 7 minutes long. To me, an hour and a half is just about fine. But you know, it's a long movie. I don't like IMAX. Can I say that right now? I find IMAX is anti-movie. All right? You're sitting there and there's this just huge screen in front of you. And I don't like to sit in the front row of a movie theater. But I was all the way in the back and I felt like I was sitting in the front row.
Did you feel dizziness going on?
No,
while you're
not
watching?
really. But IMAX, I just don't like it. I just don't think it's that good. I don't think it's that important a process. I mean, years ago there was a big screen process called Cinerama. And Cinerama at least worked on your peripheral vision, and you felt like you were on a roller coaster and so on. It was more of a thrill ride than it was anything else. But this doesn't even serve that function. This is just an enormous screen. And then I expected that because he wanted to do the movie all on IMAX, that the resolution would be just perfect and wonderful. And it's not. It's grainy. You know. But anyway, forget about that part of it. I mean, it's a good movie. You should go see it. But I'd say go see it in a non-IMAX theater where you can watch it and feel comfortable and not have to just have this thing just all over you, unless you like to sit in the front row, in which case go to the IMAX. But what I found was disgusting was the theater. I mean, it was filthy.
Yeah.
Now, this is your IMAX theater. You would think they would keep that one up and make it look beautiful and make it look special because people are paying an extra price for going to a film there. It was terrible. The seats were horrible. The seats were just disgusting.
How much more did they charge compared to a regular
I have
theater?
no idea. Marjorie bought the tickets, but I would say probably, I would say a ticket to that is $12 at least, if not more.
That's what I paid.
For
Really?
what, for IMAX?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like 20 around here.
Well, anyway, the point is that the theater, it was just a filthy theater, you know, and on top of that, at the IMAX theater, you know, it's a wider thing of seats. In other words, the seats are wider, and there's of course the aisle on either side. But if you're in the middle, and we were sitting in the middle, and you had to get to the end,
Takes you half an hour.
Takes you a half an hour, and let's say in the middle of the movie you have to take a god-awful pee. You're now stumbling over people who are not appreciating you stumbling over them, and I stumble very easily because of my neuropathy. So, I mean, as a movie-going experience, it was horrid. The film, terrific. I'm just glad I got to sit there for the 3 hours and watch a pretty damn good movie that didn't disappoint me. You know, it
I
wasn't.
thought it was a great movie.
Well, it wasn't, I don't think, as good as people would like to act that it is. It's a good movie, but it's not the best movie of the year. I can't tell you right now offhand what the best movie of the year is, but it's not the best movie of the year. Best movie of the year, quite possibly, I haven't seen it. It could be Barbie. I don't know, you know. But it's a very good movie. However, the story has been done before as a movie. It was a film called Fat Boy and Little Man, starring Paul Newman and a whole bunch of other people. I can't remember now. And it was the whole story about that same thing, about Oppenheimer and about building the bomb and so on and so forth. The only thing is, the last third of this movie really has to deal with the aftermath and the fact that they tried to take his credentials away from him and so on. That really wasn't a big part of this other movie with Paul Newman playing the general. But it's pretty much the same movie.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much the same movie. If you go on, if you have a place like, I don't know, maybe Netflix runs it or something, and you can see that they're playing Fat Man and Little Boy, which are the name of the two bombs, go see it. I mean, you're going to see Oppenheimer is what you're going to see. So,
well, you can. There's a documentary on YouTube called The Manhattan Project, and it's pretty good.
Yeah, this doesn't deal that much with the Manhattan Project. Because Oppenheimer, while I think he was involved with the Manhattan Project, because of course he had to tell them what he wanted, because they were getting together the fissionable material. They didn't really get into that much. This was about Los Alamos. What?
Yeah, he was the lead project manager to build these bombs. Oppenheimer was.
Yeah.
But there's interviews with some of the other very famous physicists and how all this came to be. Apparently, right before they were going to drop the bombs, the president of the United States died unexpectedly, and the vice president had to be briefed on this whole thing.
Well, no, Truman was alive for quite a while. He was president for quite a while before they dropped the bomb. It wasn't like that fast. What happened was who
died right before Truman?
Huh?
Who died right before Truman?
FDR.
Yeah, but FDR died before they dropped the bomb.
Yes, but you were acting like it was just before they were about to drop the bomb.
No. Truman wasn't up to speed. Didn't even know this top secret stuff was going on.
Well, I'm sure he was told the day FDR died. Okay, and he was meeting in Potsdam, I think it was, with Stalin and with Churchill, and they were going to test the bomb out there in, where was it?
New Mexico.
New Mexico somewhere, and where the Trinity bomb was going off, and they wanted to do it while he was in Potsdam, so he could then say to Stalin, "Guess what? It's Churchill. Guess what? Guess what we have."
Yeah, I heard that he actually told them, and Stalin's reaction was like he already knew that it was in progress.
Well, because there was a spy in the project who was informing the Russians, so they knew it was happening.
Yeah.
But the Russians always knew what we were doing, right?
Yeah.
I think all the physicists were always trying to find out what was going on.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of them escaped Hitler. They were Jewish, and they left when Hitler first took power and came to the United States, and so we tapped them. I mean, a lot of them did.
Einstein, of course, was Jewish. And
Einstein, but Einstein, Teller, Fermi, I think was Italian, but
it doesn't sound Jewish to me.
No, not to me either. But they had a bunch of other, and they interviewed some of them on this documentary on the Manhattan Project on YouTube. It's a good thing. It's about 45 minutes long.
Yeah, but Teller is a questionable character. He was fighting for hydrogen, and they didn't go along with him. They said we don't need to go that ballistic, as it were, you know.
Yeah.
But it's a very good movie, and I would just say you could wait for it to play on TV. There's nothing in this movie that you go, oh, I got to see it on that big screen, boy. You know,
Weren't they promoting the fact that it was just how many miles of film or whatever it was that they're putting in?
11 miles of film they're unspooling as the
Wow.
movie is going.
This is-
Here's the other thing at the theater. This is really, you'll love this. There are parts of the movie that are black and white. And so the screen kind of shows up differently than it would show up elsewhere in the film, because with color you've got a lot of different things all in the picture. With black and white you've got like walls that are just white, you know. Turns out there were bugs on the screen, and moths and things like that. And whenever it would go to black and white, I'd go, there's another moth, there's another whatever.
This is in the theater
This
you
is
were
in the theater. Now, I would think that IMAX, with all their technology, would say, you know what we should really do in these theaters, because bugs might come in and land on the screen. We should just run some air constantly onto the screen to keep things from going on there, or maybe keeping dust from falling on it, you know. But no.
One for $12.
Hey, they're very technologically proficient. They just don't know how to build a fan. That's all, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I felt that again, as I say, it's a very good film. But I think you could wait for it to come to your home. I think that a 3.5 hour and 7 minute film probably is better watched at home, where you can take a pee without having to stumble over people and go, excuse me, pardon me, excuse me.
It'll just be Marjorie.
Just Marjorie, right. So, but anyway,
So are there a lot of people going to movies now?
Well, this place was packed. There wasn't a seat available. Okay. And this was an afternoon showing. So this film is making money for the theaters, as is Barbie. I mean, Barbie just hit $1 billion worldwide.
I don't get it.
Well, I get it. I get it that they made a movie that your first reaction is going to be, what do I need with a Barbie movie? And then all of a sudden the reviews come out and say, this is something other than what you expect it to be. And so it then starts playing to a more intelligent audience who then wants to go see it. And that's where they went over the top. If it was just, kids, little girls or whatever, But this is appealing to a really adult audience. They say the picture is not really a kid's picture.
Interesting.
But,
This has been an interesting week for me.
Where did that come from? That just came out of nowhere. What?
Yeah, sorry. I only have one show to do now.
What do you mean you only have one show to do now?
Your show.
Now, you're having trouble getting on the Jack show?
I'm not having trouble. I sent you what he sent me. You think I ought to go ahead and just try and log back on tonight?
All I know is I went and I just when nothing was on, I turned on the Skype, okay, and then from another machine of mine I called the Skype, and it was fine.
Yeah, he just doesn't have many people this week. So anyhow, I thought after the show I would see if he'll admit me.
If he'll admit you?
Yeah.
What do you mean, admit you?
Well, I sent you a text. He chewed me out in a text. And totally uncalled for. So.
He chewed you out. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I sent you the text and I said you don't really need to do anything, but I think you ought to know what was said. So some of the other people on the show were like, I don't know if I want to go back if he's going to treat you that way. And I said, go back. Don't worry about what's going on with me. And he had, Monday night, I guess he had one person for a while, and then another person came on. And last night, only Wayne was on for a while, and then Diana came on, and doesn't have anybody coming. And
But what, he's blocked you from calling the show?
Yeah, he told me that he never wants to have me on the show again. And as far as he's concerned, I don't exist.
See, I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, Jack, I find it wrong. And here's why I find it wrong. I've had a guy on this show over the years who a lot of people have begged me to not have on. And that's Phil. I never bowed to that kind of pressure because my attitude was, if I'm opening the thing to callers, all right, then I am going to take them, whether I like what they have to say or not. And unless you did something that was just horrible to him, you were insulting or something horrible like that.
Last Friday, what happened is last Friday, Skype had an update, I guess, right when I got to go on, and it wouldn't let me on. And Charlie and Wayne were on, and I tried everything I could. I even uninstalled Skype, reinstalled it, rebooted my computer, and it wouldn't let me on. But listening to the show later on, Jack saw me come in, but I'd sent you a message that he thought he had to stop the show and restart it, and you said no, he didn't. And then he sent me a message after the show. Why don't you let everybody know to update Skype? Well, it's Microsoft. They're going to update.
To begin with, it has nothing to do with updating Skype.
Of course not.
Skype will keep working even if you're still, 10 iterations back.
Right. Well, but he doesn't know that, and I know that Skype will update automatically. It's a Microsoft thing, and so after I said no, I'm not going to contact everybody.
Let's say you don't upgrade it. It will still work.
Of course it will.
Maybe later on, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, it won't, but not now.
Right, but so I said no, I'm not going to send that message out because I said Skype will update on its own. You don't need to do that. Well, he said to me, something blah 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 about text messages, and then said you're not allowed to come back on the show. I deleted the text. You're not allowed to come back on the show.
What did you do?
That was it. Nothing. I just refused to call these people to tell them to update. That was the whole thing in a text.
Nobody has to update in order to get on.
I know, but he didn't, obviously.
He can.
The end of his text said, "As far as I'm concerned, you don't exist."
Oh, really?
And he told me not to ever call back in again. So.
Well, and you've been very loyal to him.
Yep.
And
some of the other people on the show that, he said you can tell whoever you want. And so I told the people that were on the show that I'm in contact with, and all of them said, this is no way you treat somebody that's been loyal like you.
Well, also, just because you don't like somebody is not the reason you don't put them on. If you're doing a show and you're saying, I'm taking on all callers, you take on all callers,
Yeah.
Call me right now. Call us. We need callers for our show. Give us a call. Well, then, if Alan calls, you take Alan's call. Maybe you don't like Alan. Maybe you hate Alan. There are several people who've called this program over the years that I haven't really liked that much, like Jeff. But but I will constantly defend their right to be on the show.
Yeah, I know. I think he went overboard, and he hasn't wrote back. I said, why don't you write back and apologize or something? No, he doesn't read text messages or anything.
I sent him a text tonight saying I wasn't doing a show tonight, and I didn't write him to say I decided to finally do one because he never reads his texts.
No,
there's no way for me to get a hold of him.
Yeah, so Phil told me today, just try and log back onto the show tonight after your show and see if he accepts me. And
well, he may have actually blocked you because you can do that with Skype.
No, he might have.
Yeah.
Amy tried to get in Friday night too, and she couldn't get in either. And although I called Amy, and Amy said, she's been in bed all day long with some kind of illness and she didn't call. But if you listen to Jack's show after the show was over with on Gabnet, it says, "Oh look," Jack says, "Oh look, Amy's trying to call in," but it says I got to put everybody on hold, and I'm not going to do that.
Well, I don't know what his problem is, because Skype is almost as easy to use as Zoom. Okay. And I don't know what his problem is.
I don't know. I'll try and call back in tonight. And
all I know is I tried it just to make sure that everything was working on Zoom, and it was. You know.
Why doesn't he? How come he doesn't use Zoom?
Well, that is partially me.
Oh.
Okay. Jack is not what we call technologically savvy. And to have him go to Zoom would change the entire nature of how he takes calls, so on and so forth.
So he wouldn't be used to having all this.
It would be another learning process.
Yeah.
Skype is something we've used continually. You know, it doesn't cost any more to use. You don't pay to use it. With Zoom, he'd have to pay, a yearly rate of about $150 a year to do it. So I rather than, I've had enough headaches getting him up to speed to where I don't get these calls after every show going, oh, I can't get this to work and I can't get that to work. I've gotten that all taken care of. I don't want to start a whole bunch of new ones by having him do Zoom.
One of your listeners that gets on the show periodically, Ray, and he gets on Jack's show, and I guess he's listening to the show. He says, "I just heard about Jack. That really sucks. Sorry it happened to you."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting from everybody.
Well, it shouldn't, of all people, for it to happen to. It shouldn't happen to you.
I mean, I'm rough around the edges. I get that, but all you got to do is like when you've had enough of me or Phil, you tell me shut the f up, and we move on.
There are times you're a pain in the ass.
Absolutely. I live to be a pain in the ass. So
there are times when Phil, more often than not, has been a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah. But well, that's okay.
But on the other hand, I know that Phil respects me enough that if I tell him back off, pal, he will.
Absolutely. Well, you said the same thing to me once. You said you got to cool it, and I said okay.
Yeah.
You didn't say you can't come on the show. You're blocked. You're nobody to me, which is what Jack's message said. So.
Yeah. Well, that's not right.
The last line in Jack's text says, as far as I'm concerned, you're nobody to me. So I'm like, okay.
Well, he's using the show as a weapon, and I don't think he should do that.
Yeah. Well,
that's not right. I
didn't really want
at my worst, I never do that.
Right.
There have been people that I have banned from the show or kept off the show. One was, what's his name? Mike was his name. The guy who had the cancerous laugh. We think he's dead now. Is that Mike?
Mike Allen, yeah.
Mike Allen. I didn't want to have him on. He was just too.
Yep.
He just had nothing to say and was terribly disruptive.
He's the same way when he was on Jack's show, but
yeah. But what I did is what happened was he then started calling Jack, so it gave Jack a caller that was all his own. And he could handle. If he couldn't handle Mike. If he could handle Mike, he certainly could handle you.
Well, yeah, but Mike and I would go round and round, and Jack encouraged it, and even Mike and I would talk on the phone afterwards, and he would say, don't talk about my health. Other than that, you can give me a hard time about anything you want. And it's entertaining.
What happened to him? Is he dead, do you think?
We don't really know. What happened is he lives in Sacramento, California, or lived in Sacramento. We don't know what. I had his address because I sent him a gift, Amazon Prime. But anyhow, so a couple months ago, I went up there. A month and a half ago, I went up to visit a friend, and it happened to be 3 blocks away from where he lived. So I drove by there and knocked on the door. Didn't look like anything was going on. The lawn was high, but and I knocked on the window. Didn't see any problems. And so I walked to both neighbors. One was home, one wasn't. Across the street, some lady came out, an older lady, and said, "Are you looking for Mike?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I sure am." And well, he left in an ambulance like a month ago, and we haven't seen him since, so I assume he's dead. And I said, "Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that." And she says, he was a creepy guy." And I said, "Well, he had his own way. We were together on a Zoom thing." And she says, "Oh, okay." And I said, "But he was all right." And she said, "Have you gone in the backyard or anything?" And I said, "Well, I don't have any legal authority to go in the backyard." And and she said, "Well, maybe he's in the backyard." I said, "Well, you saw him leave and didn't see him come back." She's the lady that sits in front of her window and watches TV all day long, I assume. So she says, "You seem to know a lot about trying to find people." And so I showed her my retirement ID, and and she says, "Oh, there's a cop coming down the street." And so I walked out in the street, asked put my hand out, cop stopped. And he said, "We can't do anything. You can't do a welfare check on somebody 2 months." I said, "Okay, well, I just wondering." He says, "This isn't my beat anyhow. I'm just driving through to get coffee."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay." And he says, "Why don't you jump the fence?" I said, "Because I don't know what's back there." And I said, "And at my weight, my size, I'll never get back over the fence." you know, so I have no idea. I mean, I didn't go over the fence. I didn't go the gate.
Yeah. But anyway, all I'm saying,
I've watched people kick in doors that were unlocked. And so what I didn't do is after I left, I thought, well, I should have pulled the string on the gate to see if it was open and walked back there. But, anyhow.
I think probably he's dead.
Probably. He was the last couple of weeks when I was on Jack's show, he claimed he had double pneumonia, but he could barely talk, could barely catch his breath. And
he was a smoker.
Heavy, 3 packs a day. When I first came on the show, they had spotted some spots on his lungs, and he wouldn't talk about it. And 6 months later, he says, "Oh, my doctor finally got around to me, and there was nothing wrong with me. It's just some spots on my lungs." Well, when you're a regular cigarette smoker your whole life, 3 packs a day, there's a good chance. Nice color Porsche. There's a good chance. There's a bug on it though. But anyhow, there's a chance that it's probably cancer, and I don't think he wanted to do anything about it.
Is that a Porsche?
Yeah. Isn't it?
About 850.
Really?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, is it a Porsche? Yeah.
No, it's a Fiat. It's a car
I
I had
figured.
when I was in high school.
Oh, we didn't hear you
Yeah.
at first.
This is not a
Wow.
guy. This is not a
Something's
guy
wrong
who.
with my mic.
This is not a guy who would waste his money on a Porsche.
Ray's a good guy. Thank you for your kind words, Ray, about what Jack did to me. You're not coming through, Ray. We don't hear you.
And his head disappears every now and then too.
Yeah,
He's
it
got a green
does.
screen, obviously. So.
Well, I know. I always hate the green screen version of green screening.
The one that's built into
because
the
look
software.
what happens,
Oh.
folks. Look what happens. You just lose everything.
The software version.
And his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool, huh? We get to look
So
at his
Steve,
head.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. Things
Yeah?
are doing well. Yeah, no complaints. I meant to ask you, what did you think of the final product of your sweepers?
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Oh, good.
I'm glad I could do them for you.
They're on.
I'm the voice of Steve Fox.
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's,
that's he's the voice of Gabnet. You're the voice of. So is this on KQED, Steve?
No. This is on Steve Fox's Old School.
Oh, okay.
Which
So
is,
he's on the top of the hour.
do you just go to Steve Fox's Old School? Is that where you go?
Yeah, it's it's streaming everywhere, but wherever you want to go ahead and stream it from.
And what are you doing? Playing music?
Yeah, it's a classic R&B station from the 60s to the 90s.
How do you pay for the music rights?
Oh boy, that's a good question. I was going through Live 365 before, and there's also a few other areas that you pay per month. But so far, it's been on for about 10 years now.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, and you
and it's
just
pretty popular, so it's doing good.
Really? Oh, okay.
Hey,
You'll
can you
have
hear
to
me
tune
now?
in.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, I think my channel on my I have the same board as you, Alex. It's gonna get the first channel is not working right. I probably have to clean it.
Get
I
rid of
never have that problem, Ray, and I don't have a
get rid of your
board.
background because it's really screwing up with the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
basically because it it chops off
So
part of
bright.
your head.
Oh, okay. Let me.
Yeah, there we go. That's nice. That just looks fine.
How about that?
Well,
Yeah.
that's fine. You know.
I'll just do that. That's fine.
That's nice. That's
we
actually
go.
very nice. Actually.
Yeah.
The blur.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Yeah, so-
my
so
life.
what-
It's a blur, right?
You heard what I said about thanking you for what you said about what Jack kicking me off the show.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. That's terrible.
Yep.
I'll
I'll try and log on tonight and see if we can move past it.
Didn't he do that one other time to somebody and he just kind of forgot about it as if it didn't happen? I think I vaguely remember that happening to somebody else.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
You brought up Mike Allen on his show, and I never saw Mike Allen on your show, Alex. I came in early 2020 on your show, so Mike was gone already.
Well, Mike Allen was associated with somebody else who had a show on the internet, who was kind of an asshole.
He gets on. Who's the guy that does the sports channel on Gabnet?
That was it's Franchise MC.
Okay, well, he would get on.
Well,
that
this
too.
was some other guy. I'm trying to remember his name now. Can't remember his name. And he would call. He was just a kind of a pain in the ass.
Was this the guy that hung himself?
Doug?
Noose? No.
What?
Doug? Was it Doug?
Oh no, not Doug. Although,
okay.
Although Doug, I think I threw him off on a couple of occasions. You know, when I
Yeah.
think about people I threw off, yeah, Doug was one of them.
Well, he was drunk all the time.
Yeah, but the thing is, I don't mind people's opinions. For instance, as an example, I don't mind people's opinions. I do mind when they disrupt the show.
Yeah.
You know, when they become a disruptive factor. And he was a disruptive factor. So
Yeah. That was before video. That was when we were just doing sound.
Yeah.
Like 7 years ago, I think.
there are people who've gotten mad at me and then have
8 years.
taken themselves off the show. You know.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You're so easygoing. How could anybody get mad?
The latest one is Phil.
Really? Oh, he'll
I
be
heard
back.
about that.
What?
I heard about that, but I understand there was an apology back and forth, and everything's fine.
Marjorie apologized for what she had said.
Right,
Yeah.
and he read to me what he wrote back.
Yeah, he wrote back a very nice letter.
Yeah, I think so too.
But
he's
that
a good person.
that doesn't mean he's going to be on the show. You know,
Well, okay.
it's up to him. You know,
Yeah.
nobody's telling him he can't.
I think he'd like you to tell him that he can. So.
Oh no, I have told him.
Oh, okay. I don't know the whole story. Anyhow.
You know, he's agreed to maybe do the half-hour thing again. You know, but I don't know. You know, I'd like him to be part of the show. But you know,
Too. I mean, the numbers go up because everybody's yelling and screaming at him. It's,
no, I don't think that he has ever improved my listenership
Oh.
in any way. I don't think he's hurt it, but I don't think he's helped it. Do I sound hoarse tonight, by the way?
No.
No? Okay. Feel hoarse. Anyway, so, but he's always welcome on the show. Tonight, we haven't talked about something because this only happened this week. And that is, of course, the whole Trump thing with Georgia.
Because if he gets convicted, I'm sending out French champagne.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
What's great about Georgia is you can't get pardoned by the federal government. Even the Democrats, if they decide to pardon him, can't pardon him.
Why would they do that?
Because they're all billionaires and they'd probably just pardon him. Oh, you don't want to have any.
they can't pardon him because it's a state offense.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a state offense, so no one can pardon him if he's convicted.
Yeah. Well, I think the governor of the state might be able
Oh,
to.
that's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, but Kemp who just got reelected, doesn't like Trump. So
Yeah,
not
the
much
governor.
chance in that. Yep, the governor of Georgia. So not much chance.
So
in
here, let me. Here, I've got it over here. Let me. I
that.
get
He
out
hasn't
of
been
frame.
convicted yet.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I gotta get this. Where is it? Okay, I got a list of things here. Somebody put this up on Twitter, and I kind of thought it was well worth bringing on here tonight. And I put it over on the side where I couldn't get it. These are the things that are attributed to. Where are my glasses now? There's one pair. Oh, there's the other pair. Okay. Anyway, listen to this, folks. Here is how he stands. This is the guy who's running for president. Now, I don't know why people would vote for this, and some of these are things he has been convicted of. Okay? Currently, he has 91 criminal charges issued against him. 91. 26 sexual assault allegations. 6 bankruptcies. 5 draft deferments. 4 indictments. 2 impeachments. 1 convicted company. 1 fake university shut down. 1 fake charity shut down. A $25 million fraud settlement. A $5 million sexual abuse verdict. And a $2 million charity abuse judgment. Twitter.com.
This Matt Gates, who is this?
Trump.
This is Trump.
Oh, Trump, no shit.
91 federal charges.
Those are all the things that are
Oh, wow.
either
Sorry.
currently happening or have happened in the past.
I thought you said he was convicted of all these.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No, he hasn't been convicted of them yet. Well, some of them he has. I mean, what is
A
it?
few of them that you said.
Let's see here. The draft deferments are there. 6 bankruptcies, or 26 sexual assault allegations. All right, this is the guy you want to have be president, folks. Doesn't make sense. Why? Why would you want this guy to be president? And what did he do when he was president that was that great? How is your life immeasurably better? Excuse me, I'm talking to the average listener out there, not the billionaires who listen to us.
Mark Zuckerberg is listening.
Yeah. It was great for Mark Zuckerberg, right? But, this is a guy now who has 4 cases against him now. And how many indictments in those cases?
I heard there was 91 indictments in those
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah, 91 indictments total between all of the stuff that's been going on.
And I think Michigan is coming soon.
Michigan's going to do it?
I'm pretty sure.
Really?
You know what? I heard on the news today something interesting. The Republicans, the MAGA people, Fox News, they just try to say how terrible this is. It's against freedom of speech. They never go through one by one of all the charges and say why they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, but what if they said, okay, 70 of these I think are bogus, but 20 of them, there's something to it. I mean, they're never going to do that.
Well, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Exactly.
And it's just that, do you want a person of this questionable morality to be president of the United States?
I don't think
do. I don't understand.
Is this the kind of person that we do it? Now we can't prevent him from running because he hasn't been convicted of anything.
No.
But
even the convictions won't stop him from running.
Well,
I heard he could run for president from jail.
Oh yes, that he can do. Yep. Yeah.
He can be president in jail.
There's still some question as to whether he can.
But once he's convicted, he can't vote.
Yeah.
But
He did.
the question always gets there, and we don't have an answer to it.
I don't think he has a chance in hell of winning the general election.
I think there's too much against him.
Oh God, there's got to be. I mean, there's got to be. No independent will vote for him,
Yeah.
and there are probably a hell of a lot of Republicans now who won't vote for him. You know, those moderate Republicans who you never hear from.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has a chance. The only way he's going to win is if he and his cronies actually rig the election, which I'm sure they're really trying to figure out how to do right now.
Well, they tried to do it in Georgia. That's what
Exactly.
Georgia's claiming. I mean, you got to realize, as opposed to the other charges, to begin with, it is a state, and so therefore the government cannot pardon him. Okay, but secondly, this is a RICO case.
Yeah.
This is organized crime.
Fine.
Okay, they are being accused of organized crime.
That's his special job.
Yeah, yeah.
And Georgia's RICO laws are more liberal than other states. They can use them against non-mobsters. You know, most places. a
Well,
lot
they
of places,
were originally created to go against mobsters, but it's not the only people that have been charged with RICO.
right. But I heard that Georgia's done this before. You know, against non-mobsters. Whenever there's a conspiracy.
Listen,
to
can
commit
you
crime.
think of bigger mobsters than, say, Rudy Giuliani?
No, they're huge mobsters. Huge mobsters.
yeah.
I mean, they're bigger than mobsters because not only do they commit crimes, but they also held the reins of government.
Yeah. You know what they
And-
say? You know what they say about Giuliani is that he's broke.
Yeah.
So they don't know how he's going to defend himself. It'd be funny if he had to go get like a, what do you call those guys?
Well, he's on that website where you can pay him like $100 and he'll sing "Happy Birthday" to your wife and stuff like that.
Yeah,
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. that.
Really?
Yeah. That it's an app. That's how desperate the guy is.
Oh my gosh.
But is he going to have to get like free counsel or whatever for this? I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible. And it's crazy. And, it's the same thing. Trump says the same thing every time. This is a witch hunt.
There is.
It's getting laughable.
Yeah, well, because he should change what he says
Yeah,
each
yeah.
time, this is McCarthyism all over again. He should do something like that, try and, but he doesn't. And it's terrible. I mean, it's just terrible. And it's terrible that people are sending him money.
Mhm.
His PAC is 1/3 of his PAC has gone to lawyers so far. So all you people who send him money, it's not going for him to run ads on TV. It's going for him to try and pay his lawyers.
And it's probably people who can't afford to give him any money that are giving him money.
Well, that's the sad part about it too, And I would imagine if we looked into the giving part of this, we could probably find more things to arrest him on. I mean, is that? I guess he can use the money for anything, can't he?
Yep.
On a PAC.
Yeah.
So if he wanted to hire hookers, he could hire hookers using PAC money, right?
Use it for anything. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Such
So-
a scam.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Alan is delighted about what happened to Trump.
Hell yeah.
But it's all come down. It's all come down. These are 4 cases he's got against him.
I just hope one of these the trial can start well before the election and resolve itself well before the election.
They're probably going to do every kind of stalling tactic that they can possibly do.
Oh yeah.
Because then when the actual campaign officially starts, they're probably going to have to stall everything because it would be an infraction on someone's ability to campaign for
Well,
president.
if I'm a judge, I would say to him, nobody asked you to run for president. This case goes on whether you're running for president or not. It has nothing to do with you running for president. It has to
Even
do.
if he becomes president, he can't stop the states.
Yeah.
What do you mean you can't stop what?
The state charges. The Georgia pointed that out.
Yeah.
The DA said, even if he becomes president, we will continue to go after him. He can't stop. He might be able to stop the federal things, but he won't be able to stop the state.
Yeah. But
Or the state of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
He's got a lot of legal problems.
Oh, I wouldn't want that many legal problems. I've only
I
got.
wouldn't want you. You got one minor problem compared to him. Your damn tenant thing.
Oh, yeah.
The thing though, Trump's a sociopath or whatever, so it doesn't really get to him like it would a normal person.
Nope.
It's true.
Yeah. So,
The judge don't
he's
talk
gonna
about
live
it.
forever. This guy.
Talks about it all the time. I think they ought to nail him a contempt of court and lock him up so he can't talk.
Well, he's getting close, apparently.
Yeah, I bet.
I mean, he completely went against what the judge told him not to do in terms of harassing witnesses, and he did it on Truth Social.
Yep.
well,
And then he threatened people on there too.
Well, he
Yep.
has this attitude that he doesn't have to be called to
Untouchable.
account for any of this,
He believes he's untouchable.
and to a large degree, over the years, he has been.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the only thing that prevented him from winding up in jail was he wound up being president of the United States.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was a lot of stuff lurking out there, especially here in New York, that they were ready to go after him on. Because, come on, he was one of the crookedest real estate people in the city. And God knows, real estate people are crooked in this city.
Well, his mentor, Roy Cohn, the mob lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
taught him everything he knows.
Well, one of them was you don't plead guilty, or rather you don't plea out.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't ever admit you're wrong. Never.
Yeah, and you
admit you're wrong.
repeat lies enough, people will believe you.
Well, that's Hitler. Hitler figured that one out. Goebbels.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Goebbels came up with that. Who do we just lose?
Yeah.
Jeff's gone.
Yeah.
We lost Jeff. Oh well. Anyway, yeah. So Goebbels came up with the big lie.
Yeah.
You repeat something enough times, and eventually it becomes truth. You know. So, whatever. Anyway, it looks like we're almost through here. Let me start playing a theme here. There we go.
Thank you, a text.
We still can't hear it.
What? What'd you say?
I guess we can't hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it. I don't know why. I've never been able to figure out why. Some of these things that are on here, if I played them, you can hear them. That's the strange part. So, I don't know what the thing is. I give up. All right.
It could be just a software thing, a software update that has a bug in it.
It has
or
nothing to do with software.
Oh,
It has
okay.
to do with, well, wait a minute. Let me stop playing that a second. And let me play something else here. Tell me if you can hear this.
Now more than ever, it's a breeze to listen to all
See?
that GabNet
You
has
can
to
hear
offer.
that, but you can't hear this one. See?
Oh, I hear it a little bit now.
A little bit.
It's coming through. It's probably coming through a speaker.
Yeah, we're hearing this through the speaker.
No, it's not coming through the speaker. Well, anyway.
Oh, well, we're hearing a little, like it's super muffled.
Well, anyway, we have to get going here to make way for Jack Bishop in the intersection without Alan. And Steve, great having you here. Always love having you here. Same thing with you, Alan. Same thing with you, Ray. And thanks to Jeff who left us. And I know a lot of people would have been here tonight, except I didn't go on till 11. Anyway, everybody, give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye at you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel for tonight. There they go. Okay. I'm going to sneeze. So before I sneeze, let me just sign off by saying to you... Let me just sneeze. All right. Anyway, we'll see you again tomorrow night, right here, 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Good night, everybody.